Give me a quick review of, from beginning to end, of how you're cooking this, what are we going to call it? Squash quinoa salad?
Yeah, it's going to be a bean. It's going to be well, I guess it's almost like Three Sisters because we're going to put squash and corn and beans.
So we have the squash done last, and that takes, what, 15 minutes?
It'll take maybe a little more, 20, 25,
20?
depending, yeah.
And so squash is like a pumpkin here?
Yeah.
Or the other way around?
Yeah,
The
actually
pumpkin is like the squash?
Yeah, all of the squashes that are grown locally are called local pumpkin. And so, not sure why, but they look to me a little more like squash, and I'll just show you one.
So this is squashing water?
Yeah. So there we have one of the local pumpkins, and we would call it, what kind of squash, Margie?
I don't know that.
It's like a kind of a big butternut.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does resemble a butternut without with the long neck, but
Right, so that's-
and it's similar color inside.
Easily grown here?
Very easily grown here. Yeah,
So that could be a subsistence
yeah.
plant food.
Tanner knows a lot more about the growing of the food here than I. But yeah, it's a wonderful food because it's such a great source of vitamin A for them.
Okay, and then you already cooked
Cook the quinoa, and Margie's cutting up. We
And
don't
when you
have
cook quinoa, is it 2-to-1 water to?
Yeah, except we didn't measure. But anyway,
You
I
ballpark
think
it?
it was close.
Okay. And then we've got vegetable over here, which I can't see unless we bring them over here for a second. But
Yeah.
so these vegetables will be going in there. Are we going to have smaller or this size?
I
This
think
size?
This
Okay.
size is fine. Yeah.
So we're gonna, if you can show them to the,
Oh, sure.
without spilling us, I might
Yeah.
do that. So we
red
have
and green pepper.
and red and green pepper,
That's it.
and we got carrots.
We got some carrots. We're gonna grind up because they're not in the best of shape, and we don't have much other vegetables. But I will show you what we do have that's going in there.
Now she's starting to get warmed up. Now we're starting to. Funny how I thought greens might have to sneak into this.
Oh yeah, we got some beautiful greens from the Taiwanese farm. And what's really interesting is they call these greens kale, but they're actually not. At least I've never seen any kale that looks like this. So to me, this looks like Chinese green, like Gailan or something. Or
Almost a Chinese broccoli
Chinese,
or
Chinese. Anyway, some Chinese green.
well, that beats our romaine the other night, right?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely spectacular.
But in a pinch, romaine worked fine.
Yeah. This is what we would have wanted the other night, and it's so fresh. And they sold it at the market here today for $1 a bag. So I mean,
Steal.
for people that are wanting to add greens to their diet, wow, that's look at the size of this for $1 for the locals. Unbelievable deal.
How hard would it be for the a local person with a garden of their own to grow that?
That's a question for Tanner.
Tanner, what do you think?
Grow that.
Yeah.
Usually, typically out here we have very alkaline soil. So your lettuce, your green leafies, they usually like a pH around 6.5 to 7, and ours is about 8. So it can be pretty difficult if you're growing in soil to get your green leafies to grow well. But we've experimented with different potting mixes and potting soils, and they actually have found a lot of success using something called copra cake out here. So it's a byproduct of when they make the copra, and it's super.
We got to get him in the picture.
Super rich.
Yeah, Tanner, tell them what copra is, because that'll be a new term.
Goodness,
for
I
a
don't
lot.
know.
Just wing it. This is not exactly
Okay.
a botany
So
cooking class.
basically, copra is the coconut coconut that they take down, and then they export that worldwide. That's the
You mean the
basics.
coconut or
yeah,
the-
the coconut, unhusked coconut, and then
They call it
when-
copra. Copra.
copra. Yeah. So that's the basics of it, and then they have many different things that you can get from that. They use coconut oil, the copra cake. I think there's even a coconut bar of soap that you can get now.
There's coconut
So-
everything right now.
Yeah,
It's a
everything.
Hot item. Hot
Yes,
item.
it is.
So it would be hard for the local to grow in his own garden
Yes.
the greens.
Yes.
So how do they do it over in this farm? Nurtured the soil?
Yeah, they grow. They're in Laura, so that's the oldest part of the island. It has the highest level of micronutrients in the soil there. So they're able to actually plant directly in the soil with very minimal care. Whereas in town, you have much less soil, a lot more rock and sand, so you're not able to grow directly
So
in
what
the
are the
soil.
things you can grow in town?
In town,
If someone had a local back.
cucumber grows well, tomatoes, eggplant, and pumpkin. Local pumpkin will grow really well. And
could ex-
papaya.
you could exist
Papaya
off that.
and stuff like that. The fruit trees, like your local pandanus, breadfruit, papaya, easily grow.
Alright.
It's when you start to do stuff that's not local that you're going to need to have a richer soil base.
All right, so this is going to be ready in about 20 minutes, Brenda? Yo, Brenda, going to be ready in 20 minutes?
What's that?
This is going to be ready in 20 minutes?
I would say pretty close. We have to do a dressing, and but this should be. It's doing very nicely. It's
Okay.
on low now.
And then there's this chocolate thing over here.
This one got turned off somehow.
I think that's why Tanner's in charge of the chocolate thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm eating it as I go, basically.
Now, tell us the recipe for the chocolate dessert, Tanner.
So basically, I messed up some of the dark chocolate that was cooking for
So you're
Brenda.
melting it.
Yeah, so we're melting the dark chocolate down, and then we put in shredded coconut, walnuts, and peanuts.
That is going to be one rich, calorie-dense snack.
Yeah.
Dessert.
Yeah.
I need more.
All right, so we'll have a picture of this in 25 minutes or so. So what are we going to call this? Quinoa salad from the Marshall Islands?
Call it confetti quinoa salad. It's just
Confetti quinoa salad because of the color?
Yeah. Why not?
Confetti quinoa salad
New
from
invention.
Or Three Sisters quinoa salad.
Three
like that.
Sisters. Well, the Three Sisters we got, where's the beans?
Well, they're coming.
Are you putting beans in this?
Oh, absolutely. What would a quinoa salad be?
Tres Hermanas. Squash, corn, and beans.
Yes. And I wish we had a lot of parsley to put in, or
Right.
cilantro. We'll put a lot of lime anyway.
Oh.
There'll be plenty of lime.
We chop the greens teeny enough. All right. So we'll be back with maybe a picture of the end dish. And we're lucky. I'm lucky to be able to eat this. It's going to be great. Talk to you soon.